right? They're like, well, no, you know, energy reservoir is ever directly converted into work. There's always some excess heat. And I was all like, yeah, but no heat thing. Let's see. Like, sure, the work can produce excess heat, but that heat can be useful and produce yet more work in a different way, an unexpected way further down the line. So we're talking about, well, everything degrades into this excess heat, which is excess heat like friction, and then that's part of the energy is wasted on friction. Useless heat, I've heard the term. Useless? I would love to see what these people pay on their heating bills. we pay for heating, don't we? Why? Is it useless? No, life forms take heat, total random movements of little particles, and we absorb it and make something useful out of it. And, we do stuff with it. And no, you don't absorb all the heat immediately, but that heat does something, and 10,000 steps down the line, maybe it does do something useful. It seems to be sort of like conservation of energy, almost. Well, who's to say, anyway? I suppose you could theorize, but who could say for certainty that this chunk of heat will never, ever, ever come back and form something useful again? Really? What if it's just cycles? Heat and work, and heat and work, and heat and work. And the cycle is incredibly vast, and you're going to find this 1% that takes 1 billion years to do something useful again, and this other 1% takes 1 trillion years, or whatnot, but stuff could keep happening. Right? They talk about the arrow of time. That second law shows us, how time is moving. And they said, if you saw, a picture of a car, and then you saw, a picture of scrap metal or whatever, or raw materials being smuggled around, you'd say, okay, clearly time's proceeding in this direction. We have the organized thing, which is the car, and according to second law, it has to degrade, and it becomes just random pieces of metal that have, the car is entirely fallen apart at some time in the future. I mean, you could do it the exact opposite way. You could have the random metal and then build it into a car. I'm like, yeah, but that would take energy. I'm like, yeah, well, the universe has energy. Again, I'm not convinced that there's a limited supply of usable energy, that becomes less and less usable as we go. There's a book called Einstein's Dreams. It's about other weird ways the universe might work, but doesn't. But if it did, and one of the things was, in this world, the second law runs backwards, and so everything organizes itself. And talk about this, paradoxical world where you'd spill your milk, and then the milk would and put itself back in the glass. You'd smash a window, and then the window would put itself back. And that's how the universe would be if the second law didn't apply, if there was negentropy instead of entropy. But I'm like, wait a minute, guys. It does put itself back. It just doesn't do it in a weird way like, some Jedi was doing it for you. Humans put these things back, right? How often does a window get smashed and somehow gets replaced? How often does something get damaged one way or the other? Or something, part of the body gets damaged and then it's regrown, scabbed over, whatever, right? If something, we have organized systems, living beings, and crap happens, and then we undo the crap. In fact, we undo it even further than the cause of the damage. Not only do we fix the window you broke, but eventually we build more houses with more windows, and more glasses with more milk in them, and more and we organize it more. We humans are also part of the universe, right? Why is it when we do something it doesn't count? or life forms in general, or all sorts of things in general. I was thinking, but by second law, would it be like if you saw, the Earth, and then you saw a cloud of dust, would you think, oh, okay, clearly the dust comes later because, it has to go from this organized thing to this. Again, the definition of organized, I'm not sure exactly, but this thing, and then it becomes this more evenly spaced out thing, And I was like, but actually the reverse happened, at least so far, that's the way it's happened. There was a big old cloud of dust which formed into the Earth. Gravity organizes things. As far as I know, gravity doesn't drain some cosmic battery to make it all work. Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't get it. And this is like one of the axioms. This is... Everyone knows the second law. I'm not even sure what the first and third laws are. I'm sure they're related. Again, within any like finite human machine or whatever, fine. But in the ultimate fundamentals of the universe, are saying it's absolutely impossible for that, wasted heat energy to ever come back to something useful. And stuff does organize. We're organizing it. We count. We're part of the universe. And if we put life forms on all the planets in our galaxy, then what? We'll say oh, well, clearly we must have drained out, and created more entropy in other galaxies or something, or what? In any case, we've got a bajillion years before this heat death of the universe is supposed to come by, and I'm just gonna guess we find a way around it. If you ever read, I think it was called The Last Question. Was that by Isaac Asimov? It's a sci-fi story on the concept. Whether by that sort of thing or other, I don't know. I'm gonna throw my hat at it. I think the second law of thermodynamics is wrong. Somehow. Or I'm just an idiot. One of those two. Hedging my bets. Yeah, again, the vast majority of the scientific community is against me, so I don't know. Explain this to me, guys. I don't know how you got this idea. But to everybody out there, thanks for watching. See you later.